Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, I've said it before. I think I've said it like this. YouTube can be kind of dangerous, and what I mean by that is, you start to interact with other, posters. You watch their videos. You find somebody that you really like. Their views are stimulating. They're challenging your thinking. Whatever. And then you start to see who they reference or who they're talking to. Maybe they have a Hangouts chat with them. Whatever. Maybe they've just liked some videos, and you check to see, well, what do they like. You check their playlist out, liked videos. You find this stuff out. And next thing you know, you're following somebody else. So now, I got turned on to Sameoldji, this is going to be a video response to some of his videos, by Runeslinger, and they have a great video, a little hangout chat where they're talking about some of the nomenclature for like RPGs, all that kind of stuff, in terms of like what should we call certain things, and it's a killer video. But anyhow. I watched a bunch of his videos, and I'm really digging, his perspective. It's different, and so I wanted to take some time to, answer some of that. So I think this is going to be a response to probably 4 videos that I've watched, and 3 of them are kind of all like a series, so to speak. It's about like, there's a wrong way to play RPGs. Parts 1 and 2. Parts 1 is a bit of a rant. I'm gonna link all these down there, and then part 2 he kind of says, okay, well, sorry, but this is what I meant. Really cool stuff. And then there's another video called Different Iterations, and it's based on mostly comments and questions asked by Null Inquisitor, another great poster. So, I want to kind of answer that a little bit, and then just talk about, or like give my perspective, not argue, but just give my perspective. And then, also there's one, he had this great little video called Chasing the Dragon, which I could totally relate to. Because, I totally relate to Chasing the Dragon, because as a kid, I first got introduced to role-playing games at, the tender age. Man, how old was I? 11? 13, maybe. 1981. Yeah, I was 13. So now you know how old I am, if you can do math. But, I get this great book, and it was Chasing the Dragon, sometimes for me, is just chasing the feeling I got the first time I read the Moldve BX Basic Rules, and I was just, I got this, box set, and I'm reading this, and I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm like, holy crap, this is so cool. Like, I kind of knew what something like role-playing games were, but I really didn't know. And then, just look at that. I mean, I still, I look at these drawings, and I just get chills. It's so cool. I remember that feeling, that initial discovery, and that's, we all had rushes in our lives, something like that, where you're trying to get it back. And, I can absolutely relate to Sameoldji when he's talking about, well, now some of these rushes are different. Like, it's about reading, checking out new games, about vlogging, about discussing games, that sort of thing. I don't get to play as much as I'd like to, but, I also get some kicks out of discovery. And, part of what I'm really enjoying right now, kind of dragging, I'm chasing again, in the time I have, is just checking out these games powered by Ubiquity. I still haven't had a chance to play any of them yet, and I just, life has real, my schedule is busy, and just getting people to sit down and do this and agree to some one-shots and whatnot, and trying the whole thing out for the first time. Let's see how that works. But the first game I got was Desolation, and it was because I had this little Amazon gift card, and somebody else was having a sale stuff here. Let me get Desolation. I want to get AAA games from their actual site, and great game, and like the magic system is awesome. However, I'm like, okay, well that's cool, but I want to check out the other stuff too, because I'm not burned out on fantasy, but let me see what else is going on. And so there's the Hollowworth Expedition, which is cool. I've got some one shots from that are free that I'm probably going to run first. While I'm waiting, because I have to buy Christmas presents too, so I can't just spend a bunch of money on these books right now. Although they're on my Christmas list. You want to buy me some? But I was really kind of getting excited about, well, for one, Regime Diabolique from Triple Ace. But I backed the Leagues of Cthulhu Kickstarter, and so I got free PDFs of Leagues of Adventure and Leagues of Gothic Horror, and I was like, oh man, that is so cool. I cannot wait to get the hard copy of that book, because that might be the ticket. Little Victorian age steampunk, just H.G. Wells era, all that. Oh man, the genre to me is a lot more. The genre and the age is a lot more comfortable for me than like something like Hollowworth. But Hollowworth is cool too. But I'm just having a blast checking those things out. Not just new systems, but new genres, new different ideas. So that's neat. So now, is there a wrong way to play role-playing games? Well, I'd say yes and no. I really enjoyed a lot of his take on all this, and a lot of people's responses. But I get it. I get what he's saying. That first of all, he mentioned this mostly in his first video. Sameoldji talked a lot about what I talked about in a video not so long ago about acceptable behavior at the gaming table, and acting like a grown-up. And there's a bunch of things that it's not okay to do. If you're doing those things, you're doing it wrong. And really, what I mean is you're being a grown-up wrong. Like you just failed at being a grown-up. Try again. So I won't go into what all those are. He certainly talked about a lot of those. Just being rude, not sticking to whatever contract you guys have, that sort of thing. Just being a jerk. That's really what it boiled down to. Say, yeah, you're doing things wrong. Definitely, if you're doing that. But then it's more like, well, are you playing this game wrong? And there's a few things that were interesting about what he covered that reminded me of some stuff. Runeslinger has this idea that genre is rule zero. And more I buy into that. Where like, if it's not just the genre of the game, but it's like, you as a group get together. Like, this is what we're trying to emulate. Okay, that's what you want to do. And a lot of times the games have a purpose. Like something like Leagues of Adventure really tries to emulate that kind of, as far as I can tell, that kind of H.G. Wells, Gothic era genre with a little steampunk, mixed in, which is just cool, little weird science, all that stuff. So, in a case like that, you don't want to bring a character in there that's like a freaking anime character. Then you're totally not, you're playing it wrong. Ditto for like bringing like some kind of crazy D&D character. Just wouldn't fit. You're playing it wrong. You're playing the genre wrong. Unless you guys agree you don't want to do that, but it just kind of seems like besides the point. Go play a different game. So I get exactly what he's talking about there. Then, he's talking about more like rules as written. And here it depends on the game for me. Definitely depends on the game. In something like all these Ubiquity games I'm checking out right now, I definitely would not house rule them because I just don't know enough about them yet. And it seems to like work just fine. So let me figure it out. So, and any other games that like I check out for the first time, I'm not going to go house ruling right away because why would I do that? I don't even know exactly how they work. I can reject some and say, yeah, I think these mechanics really don't do it for me. Because for me, a lot of times, as far as mechanics, and I've said this a bunch of times, I pick my destination first. Where do I want to go? Right? Where do I want to go? And then what's the best vehicle to get there? Is this system, are these mechanics the best way or not? Maybe you have to try it a little bit. You play test it and you say, yeah, this works great, or nah, not so much. Okay? You move on. And something like, and no surprise, we'll talk about old school D&D for me, right? All those games are freaking house rules. All of them. All these games, you can make an argument for like, every version of D&D and Pathfinder all being house rules for original D&D, but certainly in the old school Renaissance movement, all these, games like I've got, on my shelf right there, I've got Astonishing Swordsman and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, I've got all the, the Lamentations of the Flame Princess, all that stuff. They're all house rules, for original D&D. So I feel free to hack those because I know what I'm doing. I at that point the iterations of that game are valid. Because I know what I'm doing. And if I play something like Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and I want to import the saves from Swords and Wizardry because I think they're a little bit more elegant and cooler, yeah, I'm not going to break the game. I think that's totally valid. But that's with 30 years of experience or more, of experience, and not just mine but other people's. And those are robust systems because it's not really a cohesive system. So yeah, I think it depends on what the game is, what your familiarity is with it, and then where do you want to go with that? So yeah, there's sometimes you can play it wrong, and sometimes you know what you're doing, so you're still playing it right. But definitely, I think the feel, there's feel, the genre, all that kind of stuff. That's a lot more important. You can definitely do that wrong, and you can definitely do being an adult wrong. So. Yeah, that's kind of my take on it, right now. But I appreciate the content. I really have enjoyed his videos. So keep it up, and I will talk to you all soon. So that's it.